about what is happening. Right. So welcome, guys. Wednesday, the 22nd of July. Um, so we're obviously going to go through what's going to happen during London today. Got some very interesting news, potential rumors. So there has been apparently, Reuters have obviously brought this out. And there was a speech yesterday from the US Secretary Marco Rubio, and he basically came out and said that the US are trying to speak with Iran, but they're making it a bit hard. We did have 11 straight, nights of a tax. But obviously, there is rumors coming out that the US have proposed to Iran a 10-day ceasefire proposal. So I expect that's why gold has had a bit of a pump. But obviously, at the moment, it's all rumors. But we do need to be aware of this today. All right, and obviously this is one thing that's different between obviously intraday and lower time frame. Lower time frame, you don't have to worry about anything. You just trade. What's here, why, how, where. Yes, if you got the overall macro trend, it's easier because every time there's a drop, you buy or vice versa. However, intraday, we do need to be aware of this. We need to be aware that there is a potential that a tweet could come out at any time. So I want everyone to reduce risk on the intraday slightly today. All right, because it could happen. But obviously, because of this rumor, we're going to look at the charts completely differently. All right. So first things first, every day we're going to build our macro picture. This was actually one that I drew up in the boot camp yesterday, just randomly, just explaining. Don't take it, don't trade it, because it's not to my plan. Um, Right. So what have we got happening today? We've obviously had, like everyone else has had, cooler inflation from the UK. We're expecting it. Everyone else has had it. So it's no hype. It'll have been priced in. And apart from that, we've only got Donald Trump speaking later today. That's going to be important, but we are not going to be in any trades at 8 p.m. So do not worry about that. We can kind of cross it off. Oil inventories, it doesn't really matter, especially at the moment. So nothing really happening. So it's going to be all about this hype and expectation. Is there a potential, ceasefire on the table? I kind of hope, well, I really hope there is. I got property in Dubai and it's killing the the Middle Eastern property market. So I really want everything to get back to normal, if I'm honest with you. So right, that's now. So we've obviously painted this picture, all right, that nothing's happening. Pound come out as expected, but there's this potential happiness looming. Now that's now, don't look at any pairs yet. Let's have a quick scan. Now oil hasn't doesn't seem to have got this memo here, all right, because oil is still screaming higher. Um, and it's 2.3% higher, which is a lot higher, and it's now up to 86 and a half, could peak 90. But obviously remember, any tweet will drop this back below 80. Yields 0.26% up, all right, and screaming higher, so they haven't got this potential, memo either. However, dollar still high, but it's just holding around that break even area. Stocks down today, so potentially because of this news, there's a little bit of risk adverse appetite in the markets. One that could be massive is USD JPY. It is flying high, but obviously you don't want to potentially buy this big, or sorry, sell it yet. And I do think we'll probably miss this move, because if a ceasefire happens, you're going to see this happen, and it'll be so quick that yeah, no one's going to be able to hop on it. So let's wait and see what happens here. Like I'd said, yields, screaming higher. All right. If we're looking at this on a 2 hour, it was holding yesterday evening, and then it's now broken above. It's not cleanly broken above. It's still obviously coming to a bit of a halt at this kind of height here. And then we've obviously got dollar as well starting to trickle off. Now, I'm going to go with this rumor, and I'm going to trade against the US dollar today. All right, but obviously we're going to tread very carefully here. So Aussie, I like the look of this trending a bit higher, but let's have a look. Obviously, um, Asia. All right, so we're going to obviously we're currently testing this Asian, low here, and this is a London, session kind of classic here. All right, where price tends to, and if we watch this on a lower time frame, Asia low, it looks like it's going to move down, forces everyone to sell, and then we continue to the upside here. All right. So I am going to be trading probably Aussie. I'm going to leave gold out this morning because I just don't want to trade it yet. I'm going to trade Aussie, pound, and euro. But I'm going to trade a bit more carefully. So I don't want to enter a trade until this area here. I want this to be tapped again. So let's just have a look at this. 990 will be 9700. That would be should be about 20 pips. Yeah, tw 20 pip between that. I'm actually happy with that. Let's just have a look here on a daily. Pretty slow. I do think there's, upside, could potentially. I'm just going to mark the previous daily high as well. All right. So I'm going to be trading probably up to that level there. Let's have a look at that. What does that give us? Yeah, that'll be pretty happy there. So let's do our 20 pip stop and a 45 pip TP. All right. I'll be pretty happy. We're coming up to test that daily high. We've got entry one, entry two, entry three. Stops below here. We could probably make these 220 and it just gives us a little bit more space. Um, and then it's a nice 1 to 2. So I'm pretty happy. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But I want this to come down and test this, And so if we get rid of these now, we got Asia high, Asia low. I want one more spike to the downside, and then I'll be pretty happy for this to trigger. So that's my kind of outlook right now. I'm not going to ignore what is happening. I do think that, you know, the the dollar is trading pretty high anyway. So I don't want to. There's kind of no benefit in us. I'm going to go a little bit lower with this. I'm going to go here, catching on to these ones here. So. That's our greens. So TP2, TP1, entry one. We're gonna err on the side of caution this morning, just because we don't want to get caught. I, in particular, don't want to get caught. So that is what we're gonna do this morning. So that is AUD USD. Let me just put this one in. Right. AUD USD, sell. Trade idea. There we go. Right, that is number one. All right. GBP USD. We've obviously had some good data. This is our trade from yesterday. Let's clear this. And let's have a little look at obviously what we're doing here. We have been in a downtrend, but obviously, counter-wise, we could be very, very happy even if trend was continue that it should potentially pop up into this area. Let's also have a look at Asia. So Asia high is where we are at the moment. So I'm going to use arrows because it's easier. So Asia high is where we are at the moment. Then Asia low is down here. So we should see a bit of a burst during London. All right, because we've had a relatively, slowish. Yeah, so slowish Asia. Now, what are we going to be looking at here? I actually quite like this area here, but we'll obviously have a look at what we're doing here. So I'd quite like to be bang on that Asia low. So we get that trigger, 4 5, 4 5. There we go. Pretty happy with that. How many pips is that? I think that's 20 pips. Perfect. Right, so that is obviously one that I'm looking at here. I'd like to take it up to that Asia high, no, daily high, or where basically where trend is, everyone can see this trend here, right? So even if we're in a downtrend, there's a pretty high probability that obviously we're going to target this area here. All right, so we're counter trend, but obviously we're trending on the potential hype. But obviously, I want to wait. I want price to come down into this area. So let's have a look what we are here. So we're 560. Let's do a 280. So slightly bigger stop. I don't think we're going to need it. 1 to 2, pretty happy, right? So let's get rid of these. Let's draw up our things again. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Someone's coming in. 1. There we go. Right, TP1. I'm gonna go. Bank it in the middle of stuff. So I want it probably around here because we've got obviously all these here. So I'm gonna bank that around here. So that's our TP1. This one be our entry one. This one will be our entry 2. And this one here be our entry 3. That is GBP USD. Pretty happy there. Just remember we're allowing for price to drop slightly. Then obviously we can capitalize on it. Oh, I've put sell trade, but it's actually a buy for Aussie. So just realized that. Let me change it now. Buy. Doing this live, guys. You can't tell I'm making it up. Right, euro, same thing. So daily wise, we could potentially be targeting this daily high today and expect euro to move heavy we obviously have, if we do have a yeah, any kind of rumors of this, if this becomes a bit more, mainstream, we potentially could be in for a good rise. So we've got our Asia high, Asia low. We've broken above the Asia high. We are in a downtrend here. There is a lot of support here, so I do like the idea. I don't want to be too non-aggressive. The chances of this coming all the way down here before it goes up are pretty slim. If it's going to go, it's going to go. So let's just have a look at this. Let's do 1400. Actually, no, let's not do that. 1400. That's low. Let's do 1450. Let's allow a little bit less. 3950. That's a 10 pip. I reckon we can go 3850. There we go. And then that means our Asia low, just like GBP USD, is smack bang in the middle. We've got then, I want to take it a little bit above Asia high. So I'm going to do 40 pips and 20 pips. Something like that. That is what I'm hoping for here. Like I'd said, London is the quickest moving trading, session. So you do have to always err on the side of caution on that one. Whereas, we're going to have a very easy picture coming into the US, and that's why, believe it or not, everyone finds the US easier to trade than they do London because London is probably the hardest. Asia's not hard, it's just slow. So we're gonna do that. So entry two, I've done this one pretty quickly actually. Pat on the back. Right, there we go. And then last but not least, stops. Right. So if we get this tail off here, which it's only early, it's only 20 past 8. So let's do this. So Euro USD buy trade idea. Right. That's my, laying out here. Just for anyone who wants to trade gold intraday, I'm expecting it to have a bit of a pump, but we might have a bit of a tail off. I probably would probably start at this area here. So probably 4,100 or 100. I'm not going to be t taking this to 480 potentially. Nice. And I do think if this news comes out, expect gold to go higher. So if we had a 400 pip stop, 800 pip TP, that is what I would be expecting. I don't want to push it much harder because remember what's happened here. Remember what we were speaking about yesterday. Asian high. All right. You can pretty much guarantee that this will get tapped again today. It's pretty much a guarantee. All right. It's an identical trading day to yesterday, London, and then I'm expecting New York, probably just a pip a bit higher. So let's wait and see. But obviously this would be my, sort of safest way to kind of enter gold if anyone wants that opportunity. But yeah, that is what I would be looking at here on gold. But obviously, remember, we went through this in quite a lot of detail in the boot camp, is that when we have a pump up in Asia, we have a slower London, slower New York. But I'm expecting something similar where, London tries to pip higher, pops back down. I'm expecting it to try to pop down, then pops back up. But I reckon we have got, and I'm going to put it out there, we have got probably about an 80% chance that this will get hit. 80%. I can't do much more than that. I want you to quote me on it. We called it yesterday. It happened about an hour later, and we're going to call it again today. So I personally think we're going to see trading something like that, like this, you know. So, yeah, if anyone wants it, but I do think today, because of this news looming, you got to be trading gold on the lower time frames. If anyone wants an aggressive one, then USDJPY has to be. But obviously, I'm not going to do it. So if we do 160, 560, something like this, you could pretty much probably target these lows here. Um, Something like that. But it's high risk, high risk. So I'm going to stay away. So yeah, yeah, that is about it. Let's go through the questions. Um, Right. Leo just needs to stop over trading. Just make a plan, stick to it. I don't know if you watched Boot Camp day one, but obviously I went through this little, scenario of, if you rather than lumping all your money in one go, if you, deposit monthly and aim for 10% profit, 10% loss. All right. Either one of those hit, you stop, targets hit, whether it's a good target or a bad target. But obviously, as your trading account compounds over a year, you only have to win half of those and you're going to end up in a profit. All right, so that is a very, very, simple. I wish, someone had explained that to me. Once you've hit your 10%, even if you do it in a day, you've then got 19 days or trading days of that month to, work on your strategy, practice, and then you go again, But if you hit that 10% loss after 2, 3 days of the month, you're going to think twice about it, next month. So it's really teaching you how to trade. Greg, so half normal sizes today. Yeah, on intraday, just tread a bit careful. If you want to play ultra safe, you could even have just the top two triggers, or you might want to drop the lot size on this open. There's loads of ways that obviously you can do it, So Leo, bye. Yeah, I've changed that. Yeah, yeah. So right, that's obviously what I'm looking at this morning. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, let's make sure that we have a good Wednesday. All right. So yeah, let's make sure that we smash it. Have a good one, team. Have a good one.